Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of A Little More Light. My name's Dee.
And I'm Kev.
And we are fresh off of the London Marathon. Well, it's actually been a bit more of like a week and a half. Kevin was hit with a big
nasty
sickness.
cold. Yeah. I went from a high to
a very
low.
low. So he is just starting to feel better. If he coughs and doesn't talk as much,
it's okay.
It's okay. But yeah, so anyways, Kevin successfully completed the 2025 London Marathon. Look at that medal for any of you who are watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, go and watch it. Look at how nice that medal is.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's pretty cool. All right, Kevin, take us through what it felt like leading up to the race. Were you excited? Were you nervous? Yeah, put that medal on. There you go.
Put it on for a little bit. Well, it's crazy to think that we're already... I'm going to take it off, actually. It's kind of heavy.
Oh, it's a heavy one.
It's crazy that we're actually 2 weeks post-marathon.
True.
It doesn't feel like 2 weeks have gone by. And it also doesn't feel real that, like, that whole weekend kind of happened. It just was a blackout.
It really was. It went by so quick.
It was.
Like, it felt like months of preparation, even just as a bystander.
Yeah,
watching.
So much talking about it, so much obviously running, so much mental energy, and then it was, boom, done like that.
It was, really. So let us know. Like, let those... I know there's a lot of people who tuned in to watch you at the race, but what was it like leading up to that? Like, the morning of, like, were you excited, nervous? How did you feel?
Yeah, so, I mean, we got to London with plenty of time. We got there Thursday morning. The race wasn't until Sunday, so had a couple days to get situated, adjusted. The jet lag is a real thing. Let's just say that. So I think that was the biggest thing for me was leading up to the race. Thursday night I slept awful. Luckily Friday I had a really good sleep, and that was the most important sleep because it's usually 2 nights before the race, not the night before that matters. And then obviously the night before I was just a wreck. I think I probably slept 2 to 3 hours, and like the heart rate was just through the roof. Just with so much excitement, adrenaline, nerves, the unknown, all that. So it was just like a
big build-up.
A huge build-up.
Yeah.
And then obviously having like you there, having my parents there, your parents there, just added to all the excitement of the entire experience, and then getting to meet some people there. And yeah, it was just incredible leading up, and then the morning of, like I say this in the nicest way, but like I just wanted to be by myself. Like it was like a weird situation of like you have all these people supporting you and all that. So it was a reminder to like not focus so much on the race and like enjoy the experience of you guys being there and just the people. Because at the end of the day, it was just like I'm just running in a really cool city for 26 miles and got to experience a lot. So
with 56,000 people.
With 56,000. It's officially broke the world record for the largest amount of finishers.
That's pretty crazy.
So I'm a Guinness World Record holder.
You are a part of history for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You were super, I think, like amped in a way of like you were the day of the race. Like you could definitely tell he was focused in. He didn't really want people talking to him. Like he was really dialing in. And I think you almost like need that in some way. Like you're about to do something your body's never done. And so I think maybe just speaking as like a competitive athlete, like I get that part. Like where like you put in all this work, you come out to London, you want to achieve this thing, but then also I think in reflection, just as you just said, like that it's good to think about, okay, wait, why am I actually here? Like what's the purpose of me running? It's not just about me getting this time, like, but it's about, you know, the whole experience. And so I think that just comes with time, but great that you felt kind of both of those.
Yeah, I think I felt both. And from the moment like I got, like it was so cool because you could tell the city like on marathon day is all about the marathon.
Yeah.
Like nothing else happens really. Everyone is like all in. You know, there's 600,000 spectators at least lining the streets. But like even from the time where we were staying in southeastern London, like you get to the train station and then you start to see runners. And then we got on one train, and immediately as we got on that train, like everyone,
it was full.
it was full and full of runners.
Yeah.
And then you get off the train, and then it was just a sea of people going to the start line. So
It was wild.
It was a really wild experience. So like, that was the coolest sporting experience that I've ever been a part of because of the amount of people that were involved and the amount of like energy that you get as a runner when you run through the streets with that many people cheering your name.
Oh, for sure.
Cheering you on.
And I think, shout out to London, like that whole marathon and their organizing team, because it was a truly, like, I think an amazing experience for both participants and spectators. Like, we had these shirts made that said "Run Kevin Run" on them, and we were wearing them, and people would come up to us like in the street saying like, hey, like, how's Kevin, like, is he still running, like, how did he do? And we're like, oh no, we're just like heading off to our next like point to see him in the race, like, I think he's doing well. And they're like, oh, we're cheering for him, like, just random people. Like, but the city truly comes alive to support the athletes who are running in this marathon. And that was truly, I think, just a testament to just the human spirit, the human will, just watching those runners, especially we positioned ourselves at the halfway point, which was on Tower Bridge. Very cool experience, amazing vantage point. And so we got to see like the wheelchair racers come through. We got to see the silver bullet. We got to see Kipchoge, the world record holder, or the old world record holder, but like the guy who's run the most. He's insane. And then we got to see the new world record holder and the women's like run through, and then all the other runners. And it was so cool just to be able to be in that, seeing people achieve something pretty insane.
Yeah, they say like if you want to see like what the human spirit is about, like to be a spectator at a marathon, because you get to see it all.
That's so true.
And yeah, it's being a runner and being in that, like, you feel every single emotion.
Okay, so
possible.
Take us to in the race. You had a goal. It didn't quite go exactly how you thought, but how was the race itself?
Yeah, so we had the goal. The goal was, 4 hours and 20 minutes. That goal is still a goal to be broken.
Amen. There you go.
Which is totally fine. But yeah, it just wasn't my day for racing. Let's just say that. First half, like, I was feeling great. Came in at like a pace that would still keep me under my goal, right? And for context, like, the day was abnormally hot for London.
It was a warm one.
It was, yeah. And it's not like your Florida humid weather, but for London in April, like, it was, high 70s probably.
Yep.
20 or whatever if you're Celsius.
Yeah, it was like 25, yeah.
25, even more. So that's not really the best conditions for running your best race. So with that, like, in the back of my mind, it was just, focusing on hydration and all that. But the thing of that day is, like, because I was so amped, so excited, so all these things, like, my heart rate was through the roof.
Yeah.
And, like, I never was able to really run at a relaxed pace, even though there was times where the effort felt really easy. Like, my heart rate was still super high. And so by the time the effort really got challenging, it was really difficult for me to keep the pace that I wanted to keep. And so I saw Danielle, my parents, and her parents at mile 13. And at that point, like, the wheels were starting to fall off. And to realize, like, you cross over Tower Bridge and you're only at the halfway point on a day where you're not really feeling your best, like, it sucked. Let's just say that. But the second half was really how would you call it? Like a
test of your will.
Yeah, exactly. A test of my will.
Yeah, it was like insane perseverance.
Because, like, I just recognized that, 4 hours and 20 minutes was not going to happen. I unfortunately had stomach issues with my nutrition, so I couldn't keep any gels down. And so I was really only able to sip water. And the problem was I was really thirsty, but I couldn't chug water because that would have just made me sick. So it was just this really battle of kind of my stomach. My legs were completely fine. Everything that, like, you think would cramp up never cramped up, but it was just really kind of my my nervous system probably really. That was all jacked up and screwed up. And so second half, it was just like, I'm just going to finish this race.
Yep.
And so I've never walked actually more miles consistently in my life than I did probably that day. Unfortunately, I think I walked like 4 of those miles, and then just ran the rest. And so I finished in a time that is fine. It's not anything that I'm proud of in regards to time, but I'm proud that I finished.
There you go.
And I didn't step off the course. That would have been, I think, the most devastating day, and I was blessed that my body was able to still get me to the finish line. I didn't need any medical attention. I didn't need any of that. And I finished in a time that qualifies me for Boston.
Yeah,
if I
you
want to
did.
do that. So, all in all, I mean, like, the day was amazing. I can't describe how good it was if you're not, like, for someone who's never experienced. I could never describe how really amazing it is.
Indescribable.
It's indescribable. You have to experience it yourself, because the amount of people that are there to cheer you on is absolutely wild. And also just, I think, being like a little person and running, and like, I don't like to quote unquote use like you're an inspiration, you're all these things, but like anytime that someone saw another runner who might have an ailment or might have more of a challenge, like, you definitely felt like you were being supported.
That's so cool.
Tenfold, compared to maybe someone who's just able to run as an able-bodied athlete, right?
Yeah.
And that's huge, like, for people to be able to celebrate the difference and stuff like that. Like, it was absolutely amazing. So, all in all, I loved it. I'm walking away excited to get back into running. This week will be my first week back, and then just going into the summer, just recovering. I don't know.
That's really good. And I think, everyone's so proud of you, like, for sure. And I think it's an amazing accomplishment to even just run a marathon, let alone you qualified. It was a major marathon.
It was a major.
You got to compete in something that a lot of people
will never be able to.
They apply for it. London has over 1 million, I think, applications.
Yeah, they had 1.1 this for next year.
Exactly, and 56,000 people get in. So it's crazy that you got to do that. So it's awesome. And then you also got a time that gets you into other world majors, which that was, the one of the goals.
The goal,
that you
it
got.
became the goal once.
Yeah, once
the goal
things started
was
to hurt a bit more.
Not able to be achieved. So it was just to get under the 6-hour mark, which
exactly
we did with plenty of time.
And I think you learned a lot too. And
Yeah.
I think, you now officially have a marathon under your belt. You know what that feeling is like. You know what that requires of you from your body. And I think you also know now, you have a better understanding of what you can demand of your body when it's telling you no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my mental, I've never come up against that wall before, even in any of my long runs. So it was really nice to actually come up against it. And now looking back on it, know that I could push through that wall.
You can overcome that next time.
So, and I raised like $15,000 for
so true.
the DAAA.
Yeah, we'll get into that now. So, you set out on a goal to fundraise for Dwarf Athletic Association of America, an organization near and dear to our hearts, and you raised a ton of money. It was incredible to see how many people came alongside and supported you in this, and that now that you get to give back to this amazing organization who provides so many opportunities for other LP athletes who might maybe one day want to try things that you're doing right now, and you're paving the way, which is remarkable.
Yeah, it was amazing to be able to do that and to be able to give back, and to that point, even just to receive, texts and messages from people that I don't really know personally, but have a daughter or son who's has dwarfism, and who were cheering or watching and telling their kids that one day they could do this. It was definitely the icing on the cake for an experience that was already quite amazing. So
for sure. And then after the marathon, they do something called Medal Monday, which everyone wears their medals and their jackets around the city. And we went out into London as a family, and it was just so cool seeing all the runners out there and getting to talk with people, and people saying, "Hey, I saw you run, like, great job, like, amazing job that you finished," and just the human spirit coming together, supporting one another, was just something so nice to see.
Yeah, It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it for sure was. Okay, so what, as you know, like as I mean, you're a Christian, you believe in the Lord, you have a faith.
Do
As someone who believes in God and who's pursuing this goal and that you didn't quite make, but you know you've set yourself up well for the next time. You have a good head on your shoulders. What would you say helped you like in that moment?
like of not realizing I wasn't gonna get it.
Yeah, and I think as a person of faith, like what were you able to draw on in that?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I went back to like, just the ability that like God has gifted me in my body to do it, and also to not know if this will like be my first and my last, so to speak. And so to not necessarily just focus so much on like a goal that I had set personally, which was to achieve this, but like look at the greater picture of the gift that, you know, this running has been, and this honestly this 5 month ordeal or this 5 month journey. Like it taught me a lot more than just, you know, efficient movement of my body. Like it taught me yeah, just a lot about like what I value in my individual time with the Lord, and like how that became a time of prayer and a time of worship. And so like even in that time where I wasn't getting the time in the race, recognizing like this is still like the same act of worship that I've consistently participated in for the last 5 months. And like although it's a race, like I don't have to treat it anything different, any differently. And so like, and also just like accepting it and letting it go.
That's good.
Because there was nothing I could control. Like there was nothing that I could do physically that would get me across the finish line in the time that I wanted.
Yeah.
Right. And so to not be disappointed in it, because there was just so much more to experience.
That's so good.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's really good, and I think it can be encouraging to anyone listening out there. Like, we make our plans, but the Lord directs our steps. Proverbs 16:9, right? So it's that that idea that you know we can set goals. We encourage people to set goals. Like we think goals are vital things to, you know, push ourselves forward or whatnot. And so when we set goals, there is an element though of holding those goals with open hands. That you on the one hand commit wholeheartedly to try to achieve that, but if you don't, come what may, you will still hold them with open hands and say, here Lord, like here's my effort, and here's my goal, do with it what you will.
Exactly.
And I can genuinely say that you did that. Like it was remarkable to see. You know, you are such a hardworking individual, and you are competitive. Like you like to win, and you like to achieve what you set out to achieve. And I think in that moment of wrestling with, okay, I'm not going to hit what I've said I'm going to hit, but I'm going to choose to enjoy this. I think that speaks of your character, and who you are as an athlete, on the whole, which is something I'm super proud of.
Appreciate it
for you. So
yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. There's no reason to be, and it gives me another goal to go after. So
hey, you're gonna be faster the next time. You're gonna be more well-rounded.
It's just the start.
You know what? You're gonna do some different things in your training.
Yeah,
so that'll be exciting.
Implement some new things, and we'll just try again.
And we're gonna try again. That's awesome. And I think that's the message. You know, that when you set out to achieve a goal that you don't quite make, try again. What's the harm in trying again? When we commit our ways to the Lord, He will establish our steps, and when our hearts are open and our hands are open, He will do remarkable things. And it is well worth trying again.
Took the Israelites 40 years. It might take me 40 marathons, but who knows?
But you never know. Imagine if you could run 40 marathons. That would be amazing in itself. But personally, on a personal note, I need to figure out a better spectator plan for because standing for 6 hours was a test of my own strength and my own I need to train my feet better. And then I think I'm also going to bring a stool to stand over top of the little barriers. I think that's going to be a thing. I'm going to bring some more snacks with me, and I'm gonna sit on my stool so I can give myself a break. And yeah, that's pretty
I
much.
think this can be a
what I'm gonna do.
podcast in of itself.
It is going to
it's
be. So
probably
for
better for another
Spectators
time.
Anonymous, hit me up, and I'll walk with you through this if your partner, your friends, or family members are into running, because it's not easy for us as well.
Nope, it's not. And until then,
Yeah. Until then, what?
oh,
Are you going to end it?
I thought, well, I was going to say until then, and then you can end it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to tell you guys that we are going to be apart for a while. So this is actually going to be our last episode of season 2. Then
What a long and
what a long
choppy season.
Hey, but we made it. We got there. We kept trying again,
I think
and we did
just
it.
decided that season 2 ends.
Yeah,
now.
season 2 ends today. So thank you for joining us in this. We'll see you again when we come back.
Wait for season 3.
Yeah, we won't be gone for long. Season 3, we'll actually have guests like we said we would this season.
It's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild. Our life is wild, so just stay along for the ride. But don't forget, keep shining your light. The world needs a little more light. Kevin shined his light very brightly in London. We're all very proud of him. Show us that medal again, because that was pretty crazy. Look at that hardware. Bling, bling, bling. Amazing. There you go. Chef's kiss. Okay. We love you guys. Keep shining your light, and we'll see you again next time when we come back for season 3 of A Little More Light.
See you later.
Bye.